Remember our goal of investing $1 million in life-changing grants this year? Well, this next part is really important to that end.
To help us achieve those goals and to tell us all about it, please give a warm welcome to our Executive Director of Northwest Children's Foundation, Victoria Helm.
Hello. It is so exciting to see this room filled with all of your beautiful faces. Thanks so much for coming tonight. As you now really well know, Connect is our theme for the evening. And I can see from up here, and I've been watching this all night, you're having a great time connecting with old friends and new, connecting with one another, of course, and connecting with that John Curley. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tonight, by joining us, you're also connecting with something very powerful. You are champions for children and families who are really struggling and often under the radar. By participating tonight, you are saying yes to those among us who are furthest from opportunity. So exactly who are these children and young people? And who are these families that need and deserve our support? They have many faces, different circumstances. They are babies born addicted to drugs through no fault of their own. They are foster children who, having experienced neglect and abuse and removed from their homes, are often then bounced from foster home to foster home. They are children who have witnessed or been subjected to severe violence. They are the offspring of undocumented parents who live in gnawing fear that one day their mom or dad may not come home from work. They are children, young people, families who no longer have a home. They may sleep in shelters, vehicles, or the makeshift tents that we don't want to see. In other words, these children and families are experiencing and living trauma. But here's the really good news. Research clearly shows that with the right interventions and support, children and youth can heal from trauma. Solid evidence indicates that with the proper treatment, those who have experienced trauma have an excellent chance to build productive and happier lives. This is what Northwest Children's Foundation is all about. For the past 3 decades, we have excelled at finding and then funding effective programs that provide those interventions and that support. We know that the best programs take the whole family into account because the data tells us when a family thrives, the children do too. This 2-generation approach is the close connection between family stability and a child's well-being and success. Northwest Children's Foundation knows that when both parents and children are given the tools and the skills they need to succeed, the family can flourish. And when families flourish, the whole community benefits. And so right now, what I'd like to do is connect you to a lovely young woman who exemplifies all that we've been talking about. She has worked hard utilizing the network of programs supported by Northwest Children's Foundation. She has turned heartbreak into strength and love, and she is creating her own 2-generation success story. I think you'll agree that she's quite brave in coming up in front of all of us tonight to share her very personal story. She's eager to meet you, and I know that you'll give her a warm welcome. In the meantime, let's learn a little bit more about this wonderful young woman named Chesico.
My earliest memory of my mom was when I was 2 years old. I remember sitting in her lap and she was teaching me how to give butterfly kisses. I thought that she was the most beautiful woman in the world. When I was growing up, we moved around a lot. Usually it was just me and my sister always together, and when my parents split up, my father ended up taking us. When I was 12, my sister left. That was when my father had started molesting me, and he did rape me. I didn't know that my mom was still struggling with her addiction. When I first moved with her and my stepfather would get into big fights. At this point in my life was when violence became sort of a normal thing in my home. So that played a big part in the beginnings of my own addiction. One day my mom came back to the hotel. That was when she told us that she was tired of us and she didn't really care, that she needed a break from us. That hurt me so bad because of my earliest memory of her being this person that was so beautiful, and she was the person that I was counting on. And for my own mom to say that she needed a break from her own children, it hurt my heart. I had nowhere to go, and I was basically going to be on the street. So I moved back with my mom. That was when I saw exactly how strong her addiction was. There were many times when I would have to essentially steal the food stamp card from her because it would get sold for money for alcohol. At that point, I just decided that I had to just look out for myself. So I just left. When I was 23, I used heroin for the first time. After about 2 weeks of using was when I actually became fully addicted to it. I didn't have anybody in my family that was there to try to help me, to pull me out of it. So when I met my now husband, my boyfriend back then, he was the one person that was in my life that told me that what I was doing was wrong. And then I got pregnant. And my whole world just changed when I found out that I was pregnant. So I knew that I had to make a lot of changes to my life, and I knew that I had to, really get into treatment. When I finally did get into treatment, it was supposed to have been 6 weeks before he was born, but he ended up being born 4 days later. Getting into parent trust classes, that helped me to learn about being a good mom. For me, my son he was like that door that was just sitting there open, and all I had to do was just walk through. My son is so important to me. My husband is so important to me, and they have helped me to see my value as a mother, as a wife, as a person in this world. Coming from all this, turmoil in my life and to where I am now, it really amazes me that I've come as far as I have. Now that I have an opportunity to further my life, to reach higher, I want that for my son. I want him to see his mother, make it, and I want him to see education is so important, and I want that to be what's normal in our family. And just making sure that I have all the tools that I need for myself as well as my child. I just have to reflect on these past 3.5 years and just congratulate myself, because I am a good mom and I am doing good. want to thank you all for taking the time to be here today and for hearing my story. I've had to overcome many challenging moments in my life, and now I use these as a way to advocate for myself as well as others. And I meet new parents all the time who need many of the different services that the Northwest Children's Foundation supports, but they don't always know where to start. And amazingly, this organization has been in my life for over 16 years, and I didn't even know it. At the age of 15, I was placed into youth care and received help as a homeless youth. As a new parent, Wellspring and Parent Trust provided me with much needed support. And even now, my little 3-year-old son, Joseph, receives therapy from Children's Therapy Center and his school, Child Haven. I am so thankful for all of the support that I've received these past 3 years, and it's really been life-changing for me. With the parenting classes, I've learned to be a great mother. I really enjoy watching my son grow and using all of the, everything that I learn in class to help him along the way. And for me as a child, the constant chaos around me painted a very strange picture of how life was supposed to be. And problems were usually solved with drugs, alcohol, and violence. But I am very proud to have broken that cycle. The changes I've made to better myself have impacted my son's future as well as my own. Just 3 days ago, I was awarded an $8,000 college scholarship. And I would like to say thank you to Mary from Parent Trust for helping me with the application process. I've always wanted to be a nurse, and I'm just really so full of hope for the future. My dream of one day going to college has now become my reality. And at the scholarship gala, sitting there in that room full of all of these, accomplished women, just helped me to believe that I could do that too. I could be that too. So those are my goals for these next few years. And I just want to say that the work that Northwest Children's Fund does is so important, providing families with various forms of support and services, helping to protect children from abuse, and giving homeless youth a safe place to be. These are just the tip of the iceberg, and all of you make these things possible. And your involvement today is working to help build our community and making a big difference in my life as well as others. Thank you so much for being a part of this great work.